How's everyone? Hey. First pitch should be kicking off in a little bit, and I gotta tell you, I'm super excited to start the second half of the Diamondback season. It's gonna be awesome. My first Diamondbacks game on the channel. I want to say last week, and I did a Tucson Sugar Skulls game, which is like the indoor football league, which it was a fun game to do, but this is definitely the meat and the potatoes. So cannot wait for that. Just trying to set up a few more things. Here we go. All right. So leading off for the St. Louis Cardinals, the first batter of the ball game, we have J.J. Weatherholt, who has obviously been, ever since calling him up, he's been a great prospect. A great young player, having a great rookie season so far. Here's the first pitch from Merrill Kelly. We are underway in Chase Field, and that's going to be a first pitch swing. Fly ball to left field. Kepler's under it, and that's going to be one pitch, one out for the Arizona Diamondbacks. What a great start from Merrill Kelly. Not a bad pitch to swing at. It was pretty in the zone, but just got a bit under it for Weatherholt. Ooh, not innings. My bad, my bad, my bad. Where's outs? Here we go. Beautiful. All right. And that brings up the number 2 hitter, Ivan Herrera. I believe he is DHing today? Yes, he's DHing today. He's been a pretty solid hitter so far for the Cardinals, so he's down one strike, though. Here's the 0-1 pitch. He's going to foul that off his foot. I got to get used to putting the... There we go. The pitch count on here. That's like the biggest thing for me is just getting active with the scoreboard and just getting familiar with that. Here's the 0-2 pitch, though. He's going to get a piece of that's going to go up the middle and just under Ketel's glove. I don't know how he missed that, honestly, but that's going to be a runner on first in the top of the first inning for the Cardinals. Honestly, just looked like a miscue. I don't think... I mean, it did hit off Merrill Keller's glove, which probably made it a little bit of a tougher play, but still a very playable ball. You know, Ketel Marte wishes he had that one back. So as I mentioned, that's going to be a runner on first now, 1 out. And that's going to bring up Alec Burleson, the lefty. He's down 1, or I'm sorry, he's ahead 1-0. Burleson, just like the guy on deck, Jordan Walker, a very dangerous hitter if he gets a hold of one. The 1-0 pitch, that's going to be outside for ball 2. It's going to be 2 balls, no strikes. Here's the pitch to Burleson. That's going to be in there for a strike. Up and away. 2-1. No. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch to Burleson. That's going to be a shot to right. Right to Corbin Carroll for a single. That's going to be runners on first and second for the Cardinals early. Not a great start so far. And that was a shot off the bat of Burleson. So runners on first and second with 1 out with the cleanup hitter Jordan Walker up to bat. Not an ideal situation you want to be in if you're Merrill Kelly, so let's see how he navigates this at bat. Here's the first pitch to Walker. That's going to just get the inside part of the zone for a strike. Strike 1. Nice start for Kelly. Runners on first and second once again. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's going to be inside again. He's going to foul that one off for strike 2. Jordan Walker, who just won the home run derby in Philadelphia, which I'm not going to lie. You know, especially with no hate against Kyle Schwarber, but obviously Philadelphia fans, they can be a little much. And so I'm not going to lie. I was pretty happy seeing Walker win the home run derby, but in this at-bat in this game, I'm hoping for no home run, so we'll see how this goes. Carroll ahead 0-2, though. He sets. Here's the pitch. Just gonna be outside on the lower outside of area of the strike, so that's gonna be ball 1. One ball, 2 strikes to Walker. Here we go. Here's the pitch. That's going to be another outside ball. It's going to be 2-2. As Walker is showing a lot of patience right now, just waiting for another pitch in the strike zone. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Another inside pitch. He just fouls that one off. I thought that one might have gone down the line, so I was a little bit worried, but it's going to be another 2 ball, 2 strikes pitch right here. Here's the pitch once again from Merrill Kelly. That's going to be low and outside. Just another waste pitch, honestly, but that's going to make it a full count now. 3 balls, 2 strikes. As now Walker's going to see if he can get a pitch that he can crush. It's going to be interesting what Merrill Kelly comes up with right here, though. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Oh. Never mind. He's going to take a look at second base and walk Herrera back to the base, so. The good news is there's not a lot of speed on the base paths. You know, you got Ivan Herrera. I'm not going to say that name right. I'm so sorry. And Alec Burleson, who are not the fastest runners, so. But here's a 3-2 pitch again. And that's going to be inside for ball 4 to make it bases loaded to a 1 out. Not a great situation for the Diamondbacks early on. This could get very scary. That's now going to bring up Lars Nootbaar, who's batting .260 with 3 home runs, 12 RBIs. Hasn't done a lot of damage this season, but still a batter you don't want to mess around with. Once again, bases loaded, 1 out. Here's the first pitch from Merrill Kelly, and that's going to be low for a ball. My bad, did not reset the count. My bad on that. Okay, ball 1. Gotta get used to that. Alright. That pitch was nowhere near the strike zone. Let's see what he can do with the next pitch. 1-0 count. Here's the pitch. That's going to be inside, not even close again. As Merrill Kelly is struggling to find the strike zone. It's going to be 2 balls and no strikes. He's definitely going to need some magic to get out of this jam. 2 balls, no strikes. Here's the pitch. That's going to be in there for a strike. Nice curveball, blown away. Here's a 2-1 pitch, though. That's going to be inside, not even close. It's going to be 3-1 the count. As Merrill Kelly is in danger of walking in a run. Oh my goodness, this is not good. 3 balls, 1 strike, bases loaded, 1 out. Here's the pitch. That's going to be in there for a strike, though. Newbar thought it was a ball 4, but that was a pretty good pitch, honestly. I'm surprised he thought that was ball 4. He's even talking to the umpire. Very questionable discussion he's having with the umpire. I mean, usually when you ask for the pitch, it's kind of borderline, but that was not. That was in there for a strike. Here's the full count pitch, though. Challenge that. That's gonna touch the corner of the strike zone. They call it ball 4, but Moreno is gonna challenge it. I think that just clipped it, and it just clips it for strike 3. What a big second out of the inning. Now that was a borderline pitch right there. And that's going to make it 2 outs, even though there's still bases loaded. It could be 1-0 right now to the Cardinals, but still, it is 2 outs, so still a 0-0 ball game. What a great strike 3 pitch for Merrill Kelly right there. It's now going to be 2 outs for Mason Wynn. One more chance for Merrill Kelly to get out of this. That's going to be a first pitch curveball in there for a strike, though. Great start. Mason Wynn batting .243 with 4 home runs. 38 RBIs, not a bad hitter. But he's down 0-1 early. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a hit right up the middle for a base knock. That's going to bring in 2 runs to make it a 2-0 lead for the St. Louis Cardinals. Just a great pitch for Mason Wynn to hit. Just a great pitch for Mason Wynn to hit, honestly. Let's see where it was in the strike zone. Basically right down the middle. Not a great pitch from Merrill Kelly. And that's going to make it a 2-0 ball game for the St. Louis Cardinals. With runners on first and second. Why did it have... I don't know why I had 1 run early on. I'm still learning. Merrill Kelly was so close to getting out of this unscathed, but that's a bummer. That's going to bring up the 7th hitter, though, Nathan Church, the center fielder. Another young player for the St. Louis Cardinals team. Once again, it's going to be runners on first and second with 2 outs, so let's see if Merrill Kelly can at least hold it to a 2-0 lead. That's going to be an outside changeup, though, for ball 1. Oh my gosh. That's what's happening. I keep accidentally clicking the... That's going to be a low changeup, though. Nathan Church hacks at it, misses. It's going to be strike 1. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Nathan Church. He's going to foul that one off to make it 2 strikes. This is a nice count from Merrill Kelly. Let's just hope that he does throw a pitch here. Let's just not make it good. He's got plenty of time to waste a pitch right here, so... It's going to be 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here's the pitch to Church. That's going to be up high. Good waste pitch right there, but that's going to be ball 2. It's going to be 2 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here's the pitch to Church. And that's going to be hit. That's going to be a chance for Tawa. What a great catch, though, for Tawa. As he saves at least one run. That could have been worse. Could have been 2 runs. And that's going to keep it a 2-0 ball game. Merrill Kelly not happy with himself, but honestly could have been worse. And what a great catch from Tim Tawa, who ever since being called up has just made play after play after play. And that's going to be a 2-0 ball game heading into the bottom of the first inning. All right. The first inning was a little shaky, I'm not gonna lie. I'm still kind of getting my lingo down. Like, obviously I watch baseball a lot, but I don't commentate it like this, so bear with me, y'all. I know no one's in here, but just bear with me. It bothers me, though. I had it, for some reason, my finger keeps slipping, and it's so sensitive, but I had it as the Cardinals already having a run score. I'm not gonna like that. Let's see if this Arizona Diamondbacks offense can keep rolling. They had such a great series on the road in LA. In the first game, scoring 9 runs. Second game, scoring 9 runs. The third game, I think they scored 5 runs. I mean, especially against the Dodgers, that is just such a huge impact from your offense. You know, it definitely helps your starting pitching no matter how they pitch. And if they can keep it rolling, you know, Merrill Kelly's going to have a lot of support today. I gotta be careful with that. I don't want to let it slip like that. And here is Michael McGreevy, the starting pitcher for St. Louis, who's 4-7 on the year with a 3.01 ERA. And looking at his last game, I believe he played against Milwaukee. He actually got the W in that game, pitching 6 1/4 innings, only giving a 1 earned run with 6 strikeouts. But here's the first pitch to Ketel Marte. That's going to be right down the middle for a strike. As Ketel watches that one go by. Okay. And once again, I really don't think that was Marte's fault after just seeing the replay. You know, that ground ball last inning. Sure, that's still in his head, though. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Marte. That's going to be a ground ball right to Burleson, though. He's going to underhand that to McGreevy. And that's going to be out number 1 for the Diamondbacks. Not a bad play from Burleson there. That was kind of going down the line pretty hard. And that's going to bring up Geraldo Perdomo, which there was a lot of talk on whether or not he was going to play today, actually, or miss a day or two. After, I'm sure a lot of you saw on his TikTok live, for some reason, he was holding, or his hand was wrapped, which is not a great sign, especially for an infielder. I'm not sure what hand it was, but here's the first pitch. He's going to go bunt, pull it back. It's going to be ball 1. As I'm sure a lot of Arizona Diamondback fans, including myself, are happy to see him in the starting lineup today. 1 ball, no strikes is the count. Here's the pitch to Perdomo. And that's going to be in there for a strike. Fastball kind of high. And the broadcast team kind of just mentioned that that hand has been kind of lingering ever since the San Diego road trip, which kind of a while ago. So it's interesting. This is kind of all happening now. But here's the 1-1 pitch to Perdomo. That's going to be a fly ball to center field, but Church is just going to get under it. Pretty easy fly ball for out number 2. Wow, they're talking about Michael McGreevy right now. 7 different pitches in his arsenal. Pretty filthy. But that is going to bring up Corbin Carroll, the all-star, who recently showed up in the Philadelphia game recently. See what he can do with his at-bat. That's going to be a slider in there for a strike. Because when it comes to Corbin Carroll, you never doubt that he's going to make the All-Star game. Honestly, should have been starting in right field, but we're not going to talk about that. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and that's going to be a big hack at the low changeup away. Not a great pitch to swing at, honestly. That's going to be no balls and 2 strikes. As here's the 0-2 pitch to Corbin Carroll. That's going to be up high, forcing fastball. Just a waste pitch. So far, McGreevy mowing down these Diamondbacks, but here's the 1-2 pitch to Corbin Carroll. That's going to be a changeup, low, nowhere near the strike zone for ball 2. Good eye for Corbin. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs for Corbin Carroll. Here's the pitch from McGreevy. That's going to be a fly ball to left field. Left center, actually. Actually, no, left field. And that's going to be an easy fly ball for Lars Nootbaar. There's 1 ground ball, 2 fly balls. Not a great start for the Arizona Diamondbacks offense, but it's going to bring us to the top of the 2nd inning. Alright, I will be right back. I'm going to get some more water. I think that's going to bring up Jose Fermin, third baseman for the St. Louis Cardinals. Here's the first pitch to Fermin. That's going to be a hack on the outside fastball for strike 1. And Merrill Kelly, they just mentioned it, but yes, he did throw quite a bit of pitches in that first inning, so hopefully he can have a quick one here. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Fermin. That's going to be low and away, a slider outside. Going to be 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Fermin. And that's going to be a line drive right up the middle to Tim Tebow in center field for a base knock. So far, the St. Louis Cardinals are just hitting this ball hard. Great exit velocity off the bats. And that's going to be a runner on first base in the top of the 2nd inning. And that's going to bring up Jimmy Crooks, the catcher. Not having a great season batting-wise. Batting 164. And that's going to be a first pitch swing. A high fly ball to Corbin Carroll, who gets under it pretty easily for out number 1. Didn't get to say much about Crooks there, but And that's going to bring up the top of the lineup already with JJ Weatherholt with 1 out, runner on first. And that's going to be a quick pickoff to Merrill Kelly. From Merrill Kelly, I should say, as Fermin gets back there safely. I will say I'm definitely enjoying the baseball games so much more than the football games, especially the IFL. It was happening so fast some plays. But here is the... Actually, Kelly's going to go back to first base on the pickoff move, and he's going to get Fermin at first base. What a great move from Merrill Kelly. As he went right back to it, even on the first pickoff attempt, it was called safely. He goes right back to it and gets Fermin. Let's see the replay. Wow, just got him. What a quick move from Merrill Kelly to get the second out of the inning. And that's going to be 2 outs for JJ Weatherholt. Here's the first pitch. That's going to be a low fastball for ball 1. Just misses the zone. And honestly, Fermin didn't have trouble getting back to the bag. It was just a quick move by Merrill Kelly. That's going to be a low changeup inside. It's going to be 2 balls, no strikes. Why did I put strike there? Weatherholt is 0 for 1 with a fly out. That's going to be another ball for ball 3. The good news is there is 2 outs, but so far not looking like a good at-bat for Kelly against Weatherholt. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be 4 straight balls. As he's going to put JJ Weatherholt on first base. And I apologize if I keep forgetting to take stuff off. There was a runner on first after that pickoff attempt. It's hard to... I honestly, when I first started, or thought of starting this channel, I didn't realize how much of the scoreboard I was going to have to do while commentating the game. So even with the slower paced baseball game, it's still a little bit challenging. But that's going to bring up Ivan Herrera. I'm not going to say that name right. I know I'm disappointing my Mexican family, but that's going to be a foul ball for the first pitch. I'm not even... I want to try pronouncing it again, but I'm just going to butcher it. I cannot roll my R's. And that's going to be... It's going to be 0-1. And here's the second pitch. That's going to be a strike in there low. Nice fastball in there. Oh, 2 to count to Ivan. I'm not going to say it. I can't pronounce it right. I'm sorry. It's going to sound so bad. 2 outs. No balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. He's going to foul that one back. High fastball. Count's going to remain. No balls, 2 strikes. Once again, here's the pitch. That's going to be a waste pitch outside for ball 1. And Merrill Kelly, he's pretty frustrated right now. Hopefully he can get out of this inning right here. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a slider low and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And with Burleson and Walker coming up, you definitely want to get out of the inning right here. Two balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Maybe another ball outside. A sinker that's away. And it's going to be a full count. As Kelly needs to get this batter right here. You do not want Burleson coming up. The lefty. Runners on first and second. Here's the full count pitch. And he's going to foul that one off. As these St. Louis Cardinals hitters just being very pesky right now against Merrill Kelly. Just not giving him an easy out at all. Once again, it's going to be a full count. Weatherholt's going to be in motion. Here's the pitch. That's going to be another foul ball. As JJ Weatherholt is getting his cardio in. Once again, full count. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a nice changeup in there. Big hack and he misses. That's going to be strike 3. And Merrill Kelly gets out of the inning unscathed. Run on first base, but multiple times actually, but Kelly's able to escape it. And that's going to bring us to the bottom of the 2nd inning. Whew, I need some water already. Gosh. Not in the cards right now. And to start the bottom of the 2nd inning, Gabriel Moreno is going to come up to bat, who's honestly had such a solid season at the plate so far. Not a lot of home runs, but he has just gotten on base so consistently. And when he's on, he is on. That's going to be a first pitch strike though to Moreno as he takes the sinker. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Moreno. That's going to just clip the outside top of the zone. Another sinker. Now going to be no balls, 2 strikes as Moreno's down early. He's going to call time to try to break up the rhythm from McGreevy so far. No balls, 2 strikes. And here's the pitch from McGreevy. That's going to be way high, but somehow Moreno gets a piece of that and shoots that into right field for a base knock. Not even close to the strike zone. I don't even know how he got a hold of that one. That one was pretty much at his head, honestly. Wow. And Moreno just displaying how awesome he's been at the plate so far this season. Down 0-2 in the count and just somehow gets on base. That's going to be a runner on first base with no outs for the D-backs. And here comes Max Kepler, the lefty. He's going to lay down a bunt, actually, and that's going to be a perfect bunt, as no one's going to get to it. Now it's going to be runners on first and second for the Arizona Diamondbacks. What a great bunt for Kepler. As, you know, not a guy you would expect to lay down a bunt. Honestly, a guy you'd want swinging. As I think that's the main reason why the Cardinals didn't expect it, as that's going to be runners on first and second with no outs. What a great start for the Diamondbacks in this inning. Moreno with the base knock. Kepler with a great bunt, and that's going to bring up Lourdes Gurriel Jr., who has a chance to do some damage with runners on first and second with no outs. Here's the first pitch. He's going to try laying down a bunt, and that's actually going to get to the backstop. As both runners move up ahead, it's going to be runners on second and third with no outs. And what a great sequence of events so far for the Arizona Diamondbacks in the bottom of the second inning. And now Gurriel really has a chance to do some damage. Has an RBI opportunity. 1 ball, no strikes. Here's the pitch to Gurriel. And that's going to be a fly ball to center field, fairly deep. And Nathan Church is going to get under that for the catch, but that is going to bring in Moreno for the first run of the ball game for the Arizona Diamondbacks. This is going to be a 2-1 ball game. Two batters get on. Next batter gets a run in on the sacrifice fly. Can't ask for anything better than that, honestly. As Kepler was also able to move up to third base, so Arenado with an RBI chance to tie this ball game. Here's the first pitch. That's going to be a high strike as the ump calls out a strike. Definitely looked a bit high, but Arenado decides not to challenge it. That's going to be strike one. Infield kind of playing in right now. Trying to see if they can get Kepler at the plate. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And as Arenado's going to chop that one foul, it's going to be no balls and 2 strikes. And the Arizona Diamondbacks have a great opportunity to tie this ball game. Let's see if they can get Kepler in. No balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a changeup. Way down low for ball 1. As McGreevy was just trying to get him swinging, I think. It's going to be 1 balls, 2 strikes for Arenado. 1 out. Here's the pitch. That's going to be just outside as he doesn't chase at it. It's going to be 2 balls, 2 strikes. Vargas waiting on deck, who has definitely cooled down since that hitting streak he's had, but still a batter you don't want to mess around with. It's going to be 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch to Arenado. And he's going to take a big hack at that one. Strike 3 on the curveball, and that's going to be 2 outs for the Diamondbacks. As that was just a nasty curveball down low. No chance at that one. And as I mentioned, that's going to bring up Vargas, who's playing at first base today. Last chance to bring in Kepler. Let's see what he can do. Here's the first pitch. That's going to be a slider right down the middle, but Vargas just takes a look at it for first strike. No balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch to Vargas. And that's going to be a ground ball, but right to Weatherholt. He's going to field that one, throw it to Burleson, and that's going to be the 3rd out of the bottom of the 2nd inning as McGreevy gets out of it with just giving up 1 run. But the Diamondbacks get 1 run back on the sacrifice fly from Lourdes Gurriel Jr. And it's now a 2-1 ball game as we head to the top of the 3rd inning. I was really hoping the D-backs could tie it up right there, but McGreevy kind of settles down and not much the Diamondbacks could do there. Let's get the top of the third started with Burleson up the bat. He's gonna take a first pitch strike right down the middle. As Alec Burleson hit that line drive to right field in his first at bat. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And that's gonna be a chopper. Right to Ketel Marte though. He's gonna field that one, throw it to Vargas for the first out. Great start from Merrill Kelly. And that's gonna be 1 out in the top of the third inning. And here's Jordan Walker up to the plate, who's always dangerous. He's going to take a first pitch strike as he did not like that call. Definitely looked a bit outside. Umpire has been a little bit inconsistent with the strike. So here's the 0-1 pitch. He's going to take a hack at that one as he's going to foul that one off. It's going to be no balls, 2 strikes. As the next pitch for Merrill Kelly will be his 50th of the ball game, already high in the pitch count. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That's going to be a ground ball right to Perdomo, though. He fields it cleanly and just gets Walker at first base. What a great play from Perdomo. As I mentioned, I'm not sure which hand was the one he hurt, but looks like it's not bothering him right now. As that was a great fielding job by Perdomo. It's going to be 2 outs in the inning. So far, 2 quick outs for Merrill Kelly. So far, this has been his best inning so far of the ball game. And that's going to bring up Lars Nootbaar, who's 0 for 1. Here's the first pitch to him. That's going to be a first pitch swing on the fastball. It's going to be 0-1. No balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a curveball that's outside for ball 1. Here's the pitch, 1-1. He's just going to foul that one off. It's going to be 1 ball, 2 strikes. And as I mentioned, if Merrill Kelly can get out of this one pretty soon, it's going to be a great quick inning for him. As he definitely could use some momentum right now after 2 rough innings, especially the first one. It's going to be 1 ball, 2 strikes to Nootbaar. Here's the pitch. And it's going to be another foul ball. Count remains the same. Once again, 1 ball, 2 strikes to Nootbaar. Here's the pitch. Gonna be another foul ball. As Kelly's giving him some good pitches to hit, but just can't get a good piece of it on the ball. We'll do it again, 1-2 count. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a big hack on the outside changeup, nowhere near, and that's going to be strike 3 for Lars Nootbaar. What a great quick inning for Merrill Kelly. Love to see that, especially with that pitch count going up. And we're going to go to the bottom of the third inning with the Diamondbacks still down 2-1, though, as Tim Taw was going to lead it off. Give me 1 second. Pretty solid ball game so far, though, for both pitchers. I know it's a 2-1 ball game, but could be a lot worse for Merrill Kelly. Could have been worse for McGreevy. And as I mentioned, Tim Taw was going to lead off the bottom of the 3rd inning, who ever since being called up again has just been hot, especially in that series in LA. 4 extra base hits, 7 RBIs, went 7 for 13. They could just not do anything against him. And I'm really hoping to see that he can continue this momentum in this series. Here's the first pitch to Tim Tawa. That's going to be in there, a sinker for strike 1. As Tim Tawa is just always the guy you want to root for. He's a grinder. Always just trying to play his best ball out there. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's going to be low and away, sweeper for ball 1. As Tim Tawa is probably going to get a lot more playing time with Tommy Troy going on the IL. It's going to be 1 ball, 1 strike to Tawa. Here's the pitch. That's going to be low for ball 2. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Tawa. He's going to get a hold of that one. That's deep to left field. And that's going to be gone to tie the game 2-2 in the bottom of the 3rd inning as Tim Tawa maintains his momentum. It doesn't matter if it's in LA or at home. He is hitting the ball hard, and that's going to tie the ball game 2-2. What a shot from Tim Tawa. Oh my gosh, he got all of that one. Wow. As I mentioned, you just love to see it from Tim Tawa. Just such a great ball player. He always just wants to come out here and just play his best ball. And he has been hot so far, and he just keeps it going. What a shot from Tim Tawa. And that's going to bring up the top of the order for Ketel Marte. He's going to take a strike on the inside portion of the zone for strike 1. Oh my goodness. Wow. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Ketel Marte. He's going to take a hack at that one. That one was low. He's going to hit it right to Burleson, though. He's going to underhand it to McGreevy. That's going to be out number 1. Oh my goodness. I still can't get over that home run from Tim Tawa. That wasn't even close. That was gone from the second he hit it. Here comes Geraldo Perdomo for his second at-bat of the ball game. He's 0 for 1 so far. Here's the first pitch. That's going to be a low slider for ball 1. One ball, no strikes. Here's the pitch. That's going to be in there for a strike. It looked like Perdomo wanted to take a hack at that, but held back. Going to be 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Perdomo. That's going to be a foul ball down the line. 1 ball, 2 strikes. As especially if a tied ball game now, that has to give Merrill Kelly a lot of confidence that this offense will back him up. One ball, 2 strikes to Perdomo. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a curveball in the dirt. Great take right there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a big hack at that, but just can't catch up to the sinker in there. That's going to be strike 3, 2 outs. As Perdomo just swung out of his shoes, helmet flying off, takes a big rip at it, but just comes up empty. And that's going to bring up Corbin Carroll, who's 0 for 1 so far. He flew out in the first inning. Here's the first pitch to Carroll. That's going to be a high fastball, lays off that one for ball 1. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Carroll. He's going to foul that one off. 1 ball, 1 strike is the count. And Corbin Carroll, definitely a guy you want to just be able to carry this offense in the second half. That's going to be another fly ball. Or a foul ball, I should say. 1 ball, 2 strikes. As McGreevy staying pretty steady in his pitch count. Definitely want to try to get those numbers up. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a fly ball to center field. Fairly deep, but Church is going to get under it. And that's going to be the 3rd out of the bottom of the 3rd inning. As we go to the top of the 4th. But Tim Tawa with a game-tying shot to give the D-backs some life, as it's now tied 2-2 as we head to the top of the 4th. All right. So far, scoring, I know it's only 2 runs, but scoring 2 runs, and we're in the top of the 4th inning for the Diamondbacks. Great sign so far that this offense is going to keep rolling. Hopefully they can keep going. As I believe Mason Wynn is going to lead off the top of the 4th inning for the Cardinals. Kind of bothers me that it's saying that about the audio, but at the same time, that was like pretty my live control panel was a lot smaller, and so it might have been saying that the whole time on the last stream when it wasn't saying excellent. And obviously, it doesn't really. I mean, it might make a difference for the. I can go back and watch it. It's okay. It might, you know, we'll have to fix that maybe for next time, but no matter what, for the recap, I'm recording, so it shouldn't make a difference. But I apologize if the audio is a little clunky. I'm not sure why it's doing that. It looks like Bert and Bob Brantley are eating tacos in the broadcast booth. Definitely jealous. Let me get a bite of that. All right. As I mentioned, Mason Wynn is going to lead off the top of the 4th inning. That's going to be a fastball low and away for ball 1, though. As Mason Wynn had the big 2-run single in the 1st inning to give the Cardinals a 2-0 lead at first. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's going to be a big hack at the outside cutter. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's going to be another big hack at the low changeup. As now Merrill Kelly's going to be ahead. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Kelly. As Mason Wynn is just going to foul that one off down the line. As Merrill Kelly's already had 60 pitches in the top of the 4th inning, so he's got to get some quick innings here, hopefully. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Wynn. He's gonna foul that one backwards. Once again, we'll do 1-2 again. Here's the pitch. That's going to be another foul ball to the right side. And once again, these Cardinal hitters just not giving Kelly an easy time out there. Making every out count. Or every at-bat count, I should say. Once again, 1-2 is the count. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a ground ball to Nolan Arenado, who fields that cleanly. He's going to throw across a diamond to Vargas, and that's going to be out number 1. And that is going to bring up the center fielder Nathan Church, who lined out in his first at-bat. Here's the first pitch to Church. That's going to be outside for ball 1. One ball, no strikes to Church. Here's the pitch. It's going to just get in there. Curveball on the outside. Strike 1. One ball, one strike. Here's the pitch. He's going to foul that one off. 1 ball, 2 strikes now. One ball, 2 strikes to Church. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a shot right to Ketel Marte. He's going to field that one cleanly, though. Throw on the first, and that's going to be out number 2. Looking good so far for Merrill Kelly. He's definitely calmed down a bit ever since that first inning, so definitely great for the pitch count. Here comes Jose Fermin, who did single in the second inning, but did get picked off at first base. Here's the first pitch to Fermin. That's going to be low inside, ball 1. Here's the 1-0 pitch. He's going to rip that one to left field, and Kepler is just going to get to it. That looked like a nice rip to left field, but right to Kepler. And that's going to be a quick top of the 4th inning for Merrill Kelly. You love to see it. That's going to bring us to the bottom of the 4th inning. It's still a 2-2 ball game, as Gabriel Moreno is going to lead it off. And let's see if that Tim Tala home run can inspire the rest of this offense. They had that nice inning, I believe, in the bottom of the 2nd inning. They had that nice. It was nice at bats to get runners on the 1st and 2nd to start it off, but hopefully that Tim Tala home run can tell them, hey, we can get runs other than a sacrifice fly. So As I mentioned, Gabriel Moreno is going to lead it off in the bottom of the 4th inning. Who had that great knock to right field. I still don't know how he got a hold of that one, but hoping to do it again. Here's the first pitch. He's going to be first pitch swinging as he fouls that one off. As he's now hit in 8 straight games. As Moreno's been on a tear recently. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's going to be low and outside. 1 ball, 1 strikes. McGreevy sets. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's going to be an outside sweeper as Moreno lays that one off. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That's going to be a rip to center field. It's going back, and that's going to be off the wall as Moreno's going to have at least a double. What a shot for Moreno. As he has a single, he has a double. He's 2 for 2. What a great start for Moreno so far. As there's now going to be a runner on second base, the potential go-ahead run in the bottom of the 4th inning with still no outs. What a great rip from Gabriel Moreno. And that's going to bring up Max Kepler, who had that amazing bunt in his first at-bat. Let's see what he can do. Swinging the bat. That's going to be a ground ball to Mason Wynn. He's going to field that one cleanly for the first out, but that's going to move Moreno to third base. Great at-bat from Max Kepler, honestly. And that is going to bring up Lourdes Gurriel Jr., who had the sacrifice fly in his first at-bat. Let's see if he can do it once again and bring in another run. Here's the first pitch. He's going to be first pitch swinging. That's going to be right to the third baseman for Fermin. He feels that cleanly. No shot for Moreno to go home on that. That's going to be out number 2. As the Diamondbacks, just first pitch swinging. Very aggressive so far. But on that one, not able to do anything with Moreno on third base. As it's now going to be up to Nolan Arenado, who struck out in his first at-bat. Let's see if we can get in Moreno right here to give the D-backs the lead. Here's the first pitch to Arenado. That's going to be an outside sweeper for ball 1. One ball, no strikes. 2 outs. Here's the pitch. That's going to be in there. Sinker pretty much right down the middle for strike 1. One ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch, Arenado. That's going to be a rip to left field, and it's just going to get foul. Ah, that one hurts. As that was a great rip from Arenado, but just fouled down the line. Hopefully Arenado can straighten that one out a bit. Maybe that's a good sign for him. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here's the pitch to Arenado. Here's the pitch. That one's going to be outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. As the Diamondbacks slowly but surely looking like they can get to McGreevy. Just need to have better at-bats as he steps off the mound. Two balls, 2 strikes, Arenado. Here's the pitch. What a great take from Nolan. That's going to be ball 3 to make it a full count. Runner on third base. Full count for Nolan Arenado. McGreevy sets. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a ground ball to Mason Wynn. Mason dives for it, makes a great play. Can Arenado beat it out? And Nolan Arenado cannot beat the throw. And that's going to be still a tied ball game at 2-2. I thought for a second Nolan Arenado would be able to beat it out, but kind of slowed down at the end. Not sure if he just didn't have the confidence to make it, but you would like to see him hustled out a bit more on that play, but it's going to be still a 2-2 ball game as we head to the top of the 5th inning. Diamondback so close to taking that lead. I know it's not the 7th inning, but I got to stretch in this 5th inning. That one almost got through the infield. Mason Wynn, he's a great defender. Great diving play by him, honestly. Great ball game so far, though, as both teams are fighting for a spot in the wild card spot so far. As I believe the Cubs have a pretty good lead in that division, so the Cardinals right now are just fighting for a wild card spot. And that's going to bring up Jordan Crooks, I believe. Sorry, Jimmy Crooks, my bad. That's going to be a first pitch strike to Crooks, as he flew out in the 2nd inning on the first pitch, I believe. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's going to be a big hack at the low changeup, nowhere near it. Now going to be no balls, 2 strikes. As Merrill Kelly, on a hot streak right now, has gotten the last 7 batters out. Hoping to keep that up. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Crooks. He's going to line that one right to Ketel Marte. Didn't even have to move a muscle. That's going to be a first out in the top of the 5th inning. And once again, it's going to bring up the top of the lineup. Here comes J.J. Weatherholt with 1 out. He takes a rip at the low curveball, comes up empty. No balls, 1 strike. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's going to just miss the bottom of the zone. I thought I might have clipped it, but it's going to be ball 1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's going to be a low changeup for ball 2. As Merrill Kelly now at 75 pitches. Two balls, 1 strike to Weatherholt. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a high curveball. It's going to be ball 3. Three balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch to Weatherholt. He's gonna rip that one to right field. That's gonna be gone though to give the Cardinals the 3-2 lead. No doubt about it. 402 feet as the rookie JJ Weatherholt gives the Cardinals the 3-2 lead in the top of the 5th inning. Oh, that's unfortunate. And that pitch was on the inside half of the strike zone. Great pitch for JJ Weatherholt to take a rip at, and he definitely did some damage with that one. And that's going to bring up Ivan Herrera. I'm just not going to roll the R's, honestly. That's going to be a 1 ball, though. Here's the 1-0 pitch. He's going to foul that one back. 1 ball, 1 strike. And it's also like 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch of Herrera. He's going to hit that one right to Nolan Arenado, though. He's going to throw that one to Vargas for the 2nd out of the inning. Nice recovery from Merrill Kelly. That's going to bring up Alec Burleson, who's 1 for 2. Hopefully Merrill Kelly can just get out of this, just giving up the 1 run. Here's the first pitch to Burleson. He's going to swing at the first pitch and foul that one off. Oh, 1 is the count. Here's the pitch to Burleson. He's going to hit that one to left field. Is it going to get down? And that's going to be a foul ball, actually. Had a scary look to it off the bat, but that one goes foul, fortunately. 0-2's the count. No balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a chopper down the line for another foul ball. As Burleson, if the Cardinals can't keep up this momentum, definitely in talks for a trade at the trade deadline. But here's the 0-2 pitch to him. Another foul ball. That one's a rip, though. After the foul balls, here's another 0-2 pitch to Burleson. Here's the pitch. Another foul ball. As once again, these Cardinal hitters just not giving Kelly an easy time out there. As it looks like Taylor Clark will be warming up in the bullpen for the Diamondbacks. Here's the 0-2 pitch once again. That's going to be another foul ball. As they're just working that pitch count for Kelly. He's at 86 pitches now. Once again, here's the 0-2 pitch. And that's going to be a fly ball. Kepler might have a play on it. He gets under it. And that's going to be the 3rd out of the top of the 5th inning. Unfortunately, JJ Weatherholt hits a shot to right field to give the Cardinals a 3-2 lead as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Let's do a quick look around the league. As I believe the Padres are playing right now. They're winning 5-3 though in the top of the 10th inning. That looks like a good ball game. Rockies losing 2-6. Giants still tied in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And let's see the Dodgers. Dodgers might not even be playing right now. Oh, it looks like the Dodgers played earlier today, actually, on the road in New York against the Yankees, and they actually won a 2-1 ball game. That should be a great series, though, honestly. As we head to the bottom of the 5th inning, 4 hits apiece for both teams. And that's going to bring up Vargas to lead off the bottom of the 5th inning. That's going to be my next challenge, is learning how to pronounce his first name. Another name I'm kind of scared of trying. But here's the first pitch to Vargas. It's going to be a ball outside. As McGreevy's still at 51 pitches, as he's doing great with the pitch count. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's going to be in there for a strike, though, just on the inside. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Vargas. He's going to foul that one off. 1-2 the count. As it'll be interesting to see how much playing time Tyler Locklear gets, as he just got called up. Might split time with Vargas at first base. But he was just tearing it up in Reno, so... Here's the 1-2 pitch, though. That's going to be an inside ball. Slider low and inside. Reno. I guess I'll just say AAA on that. Was kind of bad. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Vargas. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a foul ball down the line. Two balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a chopper down the first base line. And McGreevy fields it. He's just going to be able to tag Vargas out. Great play from McGreevy right there. That's going to be out number 1. And that's going to bring up Tim Tao, who had a great play in center field to take away a base hit. And also had a solo shot to, at the time, tie the ball game. Let's see what he can do in his second at-bat, though. Here's the first pitch to Tawa. That's going to be an outside cutter he takes for ball 1. One ball, no strikes. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a chopper up the middle, gets past McGreevy, but Mason Wynn's going to field that, go right to first base for the out. It's going to be 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th inning. Because now we head to the top of the lineup for the Diamondbacks for the 3rd time. Ketel Marte for 2 so far. Let's see if we can get something started right here. Here's the first pitch. And that's going to be a curveball low and inside for ball 1. As Marte is definitely a guy that can just change the ball game with one swing of the bat. Here's the 1-0 pitch, though. He's going to ground that one right to right center, past the second baseman. That's going to be a base knock for Ketel Marte. Great hit right there. As the Diamondbacks are going to have a runner on first base with 2 outs. And that's going to bring up Geraldo Perdomo, who's 0 for 2 so far. Runner on first base. McGreevy sets. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a strike right on the outside of the zone for strike one. Perdomo so far 0 for 2 with a flyout and a strikeout. And McGreevy's going to throw to first base to keep Marte at base at first base. No ball is 1 strike to Perdomo. Here's the pitch. That's going to be in there for another strike. As he's down 2 strikes. As now it's not only just Taylor Clark warming up in the bullpen, it's now Kevin Ginkel. As Merrill Kelly looked like he might be done for the day. No balls, 2 strikes, run on first base, 2 outs. Here's the pitch to Perdomo. That's going to be a waste pitch in the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes. One ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. That's going to be outside. A changeup. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. And that's just going to be in there for a strike on the outside. Perdomo's going to challenge it. I think he might win it, but it was pretty close. It might have clipped the outside portion, though. And it just misses for a ball. Great challenge from Perdomo. It just missed by a hair. That's going to be a full count now. Definitely wouldn't be questionable without ABS in the older days, but gives Perdomo another chance. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. And Perdomo checks it, and he's gonna hold up. What a great at bat from Perdomo to keep the inning going. He's gonna be runners on first and second now with 2 outs. As that is the first walk from McGreevy, who's been solid all game. Let's see if the Diamondbacks can capitalize right now with runners on first and second, the potential tying run on second base, and here comes Corbin Carroll. Definitely a guy you want up to bat in this situation. He's going to lay out the first pitch outside for ball 1. He's 0 for 2 so far. One ball, no strikes. Here's the pitch. That's going to be low. Ball 2. Two balls, no strikes. Carroll ahead. Here's the pitch. He's going to take a hack at that one, but fouls that one back. 2 balls, 1 strike. McGreevy about to throw his 70th pitch of the ball game. 2 balls, 1 strike to Carroll, though. Here's the pitch. It's going to be another rip, but fouls that one back again. 2 balls, 2 strikes now. As Carroll has to protect now. Come on, Corbin. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch to Carroll. And that's going to be a rip, but right to Weatherhold. He fields that cleanly for the 3rd out of the inning. As McGreevy strands the runners, D-backs can't get any runs across the board. It's still going to be a 3-2 ball game in the favor of the Cardinals as we go to the top of the 6th inning. As the Diamondbacks are getting runners on base, but just can't do much with them. It's been a great ball game so far. The D-backs, they just need to have some more consistent at-bats, especially runners on base. They'll be able to tie this ball game again, but it's up to the pitching now to keep it a 1-run ball game. As we now head to the top of the 6th inning. Still a 3-2 ball game. It's going to be Taylor Clark coming in, though, in relief. As Merrill Kelly honestly pitched a solid game, other than the first inning that he struggled in. But after that solo shot the weather hole, I think Torey Lovella just doesn't want to see it get worse, especially with that pitch count. That's honestly the main thing. Especially if Kelly at his age. I don't know if he can go deep into ball games anymore. That's now going to bring up Jordan Walker, who's 0 for 1 so far. He did walk in his last at-bat, though. And that's going to be a tapper up the middle, right to Ketel Marte. And not the best throw, as it pulls Vargas off first base, and that's going to be an infield hit. And unfortunately, Jordan Walker kind of hobbling after that run down the first base line. We'll see if he's okay. Look like his left leg. Nonetheless, so it's going to be a runner on first base to start off the top of the 6th inning. As Walker had to stretch out for that base. Looks like he might be staying in the ball game though. As he's testing it out right now. Definitely if you're a St. Louis fan, not what you want to see. Doesn't look to be in too much pain as he's staying in the game, but I thought they might take him out just for precautionary reasons, but he looks like he's going to stay in the game. It's now going to bring out Lars Nootbaar with a runner on first base, no outs on the top of the 6th inning. Even if it was a better throw Marte, I'm not sure if they would have beat him, but here's the first pitch. That's going to be a inside ball to Nootbaar to start off the at-bat. Lars Nootbaar 0 for 2 so far with 2 strikeouts. Here's a 1-0 pitch. That's going to be a foul ball down the line. And it's going to be interesting how well Walker can run after he was hobbling a little bit. As Clark fires at the first base, trying to get another pickoff attempt. Or trying to get another pickoff, I should say. His Walker's going to get back in there safely. It's going to be 1 ball, 1 strike to Nootbaar. Here's the pitch. That's going to be outside. Ball 2. Nootbaar ahead, 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a ground ball right to Marte. He's going to go to second base for the out. Here's a double play. And Nootbaar is just going to beat it at first base. A pretty slow ground ball hit to Marte. Not much you can do with that one. They made it close at first base, but not able to get the double play. That's going to be 1 out in the top of the 6th inning. As Nootbaar just beats the throwout. Very close, actually. And that's going to bring up Mason Wynn. And it looks like Mason Wynn is going to challenge the strike call on the first pitch. The broadcast didn't show it, but we'll see how close it is. Not very close at all. As that was definitely a ball. As the ump has kind of been all over the place tonight, so definitely something to keep noted. As now Wynn is ahead 1-0 in the count. Here's the pitch. That's going to be in there for a strike, though, right down the middle. 1-1 the count. Mason Wynn 1 for 2 so far in this ball game. As I mentioned, had the big 2-run single in his first at bat. Here's the pitch to him. That's going to be outside for ball 2. Taylor Clark, he's been pretty solid all year, so a great position for him to be in with it only being a 1-run ball game. As he goes to first base again, but Nootbaar gets back safely. 2 balls, 1 strikes the count. 1 out. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a low slider for ball 3. Three balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. And that's just going to miss outside, but ump actually calls it a strike. I would have challenged that if I was Lars Nootbaar, but definitely looked like a ball to me. But now it's going to be a full count in favor of the Diamondbacks. After that questionable called strike. Three balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch to Win. And that's going to be nowhere near, as it's going to be up and in. As he's going to put Win on base. Runners on first and second with 1 out. And Taylor Clark needs to get an out here. Hopefully another ground ball to get a double play. As that's going to bring up Nathan Church, the center fielder, who's 0 for 2 so far. Looking to do some damage, though, with a runner in scoring position. Nootbaar not the fastest guy, but definitely a guy that can get around the bases. That's going to be a chopper to second base, though. They're going to get the runner at second, and once again, another slow ground ball. Not much you can do with that. Definitely wouldn't have got the double play. But they get the sure out at second base with runners on the corners now with 2 outs. And Taylor Clark in a position to try to get out of this jam. And that's going to bring up Jose Fermin, the third baseman, who's 1 for 2 so far. Need to get this out if you're Taylor Clark. As the Diamondbacks have been chipping away when they're down, but just chipping away. Don't want to make it 4-2. Here's the first pitch to Fermin. That's going to be an outside slider for ball 1. Whoever's tuning in right now, hope you're having a great night tonight. 1 ball, no strikes. So here's the pitch. That's going to be in there for a strike. Great bounce back pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. This is my first Diamondback stream, so definitely trying to get the lingo down more, I guess smoothly, I should say. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. That's going to be another ground ball. Cattell fields it. What a great diving play. He rolls it to second, and they get the third out. What a great play by Cattell Marte to save a run, as he was included a lot in that inning, just fielding ground ball after ground ball, but that was the toughest one yet, and he underhands it to Perdomo to get the third out. What a great play by Cattell Marte, the veteran, as it's going to still be a 3-2 ball game in favor of the Cardinals as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Whew, that looks scary for a second, but Taylor Clark gets out of the jam. Easily could have been a 4-2 ball game if Marte doesn't field that one cleanly. Goes past him, but nice sliding grab right there. Might have to take a bathroom break after this inning right here. As they're showing the replay on the hit by Fermin, as what a great sliding play by Marte. Not the hardest hitted ball, but still dangerous going up the middle right there. As Taylor Clark loves it. I love it. We love it. And here's the first pitch to Gabriel Moreno. He's going to take strike 1 right there, though. As he's 2 for 2 with a single and a double. Had that great double in the last at-bat. Shot to center field. Here's the 0-1 pitch. He's just going to slap that one foul for the second strike of the at-bat, as he's down 0-2 early. No balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch to Moreno. That was a great pitch by McGreevy right there, as Moreno misses on the curveball, and that's going to be strike 3. As I believe McGreevy's still at 64 pitches. Looking to go at least into the 7th inning, I want to say. Sorry, he's at 74 pitches. Kind of getting up there, but with the way he's pitching, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes into the 7th. Here's the first pitch to Max Kepler, though. That's going to be outside for ball 1. He's 1 for 2 so far for single. 1 ball, no strikes to Kepler. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a ground ball to second base. Weatherhold fields that cleanly. No issue at all. That's going to be out number 2. Not a great first 2 at-bats from this inning. Strikeout, ground out. As that brings up Lourdes Gurriel Jr., who's 0 for 1 so far. Here's the first pitch. He's going to take a sinker right down the middle. Because Gurriel did have that great sacrifice fly to give them a run, their first run in the ball game. Let's see what he can do here on the 0-1 pitch. That's going to be a ball outside though. 1-1 the count. One ball, one strike. Here's the pitch to Gurriel. That's going to be low. Great take from him. 2 balls, 1 strike. Two balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch from McGreevy. That's just going to clip the outside at the top of the zone. What a great pitch from McGreevy right there. It's going to be 2 balls, 2 strikes, as that was his 80th pitch of the ball game. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. That's going to be low and outside. Ball 3. Is Lourdes just trying to get on any way he can to be that tying run. Sorry, I almost said go ahead run. The tying run. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch from McGreevy. That's going to be a chopper foul. As Lourdes stays alive. He's going to call time. As McGreevy looking very similar to his last outing against Milwaukee. He's been solid all game. See if he can finish it. 3 balls, 2 strikes again. Here's the pitch. That's going to be another foul ball. Full count once again. 8th pitch of the at-bat. Here's the pitch. That's going to be in there right down the middle, and Lourdes just was not ready for it. That's going to be strike 3 to end. The bottom of the 6th, and here we go to the 7th. Cardinals still up 3-2. That being said, I'm going to go take a bathroom break. I will be right back. Alrighty. We're going to head to the top of the 7th inning as Kevin Ginkel looks like he's coming in to pitch. With 2.84, sorry, with a 2.84 ERA, he's been pretty solid this year too. And it looks like Jimmy Crooks is going to lead off the top of the 7th. That's going to be a strike one from Ginkel. Great slider right there. As Crooks is 0 for 2 tonight. A fly out and a line out. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Ginkel. That's going to be a ground ball. Just foul down the line. No balls, 2 strikes. Crooks down on the count. No balls, 2 strikes. Ginkel sets. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a line drive right in the center field for a base hit. Great piece of hitting from Crooks, down 0-2 in the count. And that's going to be a runner on first base with no outs in the top of the 7th. As here comes the top of the lineup, Weatherholt had that huge home run to give the Cardinals the lead in his last at-bat. As he's having a solid game. Here's the first pitch. That's going to be inside for ball 1. 1 for 2 with a solo shot. He also had a walk. 1 ball, no strikes. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a check swing. I think he fouled it off, though. As they are now showing the replay on that Weatherholt home run. Don't want to see that again, but I understand. It was a nice rip. It is going to be 1 ball, 1 strike, though. Here's the pitch. And he just gets under it. That's going to be a fly ball to Kepler. Kepler's under it. And that's going to be the first out of the inning. As that was a great pitch to hit, but Weatherholt just got under it. And that's going to bring up Ivan Herrera, who's 0 for 3 so far. Who I want to say has always been pretty consistent for the Cardinals. Great guy to have in the second spot of the lineup. 1 out, run on first base. Here's the first pitch. That's going to be a ball upstairs. They tried going to first base to get Crooks, but he gets back there safely. One 0 pitch. That's going to be a ground ball to third base. They get 1, they get 2, and that's going to be a double play. What a great play by Arenado to go to second to the first, and they finally get a double play. And that's going to end the top of the 7th inning. What a great appearance by Ginkel right there. My bad if I kind of stumbled. They kind of were late on the replay, and it kind of came out of nowhere. As we now head to the bottom of the 7th. Hopefully the Diamondbacks can get something going, though. I believe... Yes, Nolan Arenado should be leading the bottom of the 7th here. It's getting a little late in the ball game. Diamondbacks need to get something going right here. Especially Riley O'Brien as their closer, who's been one of the best closers in the National League this year. But speaking of pitching, Michael McGreevy is going to come out for another inning. Even though he's at 84 pitches, he's pitched a very solid game. The Diamondbacks haven't been able to do much in the later portion of this game, so let's see if McGreevy can keep it up. McGreevy can keep it up. It looks like George Soriano is warming up in the bullpen just in case. But as mentioned, Nolan Arenado is going to lead off the bottom of the 7th inning. He's 0 for 2. Here's the first pitch. And that's going to be a big hack at the curveball in the dirt. Strike 1. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out. As no matter what, it looks like this will definitely be McGreevy's last inning. No balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Another big hack at a curveball. It's nowhere near the zone. Arenado's down to 0-2 early. No balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a waste pitch. Sweeper in the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Come on, Arenado. Gotta get something going here. Here's the pitch from McGreevy. That's just going to get the outside. What a great sinker just to slip it in there. That's going to be strike 3. Oh my goodness. It's not looking good so far. That's going to be the first out of the bottom of the 7th. What a great pitch just to get it in there, honestly. Here comes Vargas, who's 0 for 2. The 1 out. Here's the first pitch. That's going to be in there for a strike on the inside. Vargas 0 for 2 with 2 groundouts. Just need to get on base here, no matter what. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's going to be a foul ball to the back. And just like the Arenado at bat, Vargas is down 0-2 early. As Juan Murillo is warming up in the bullpen. I got to get these names down. 0-2 pitch, here we go. That's going to be a high ball 1. Okay, I can say that. Il Demaro. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Vargas. That's going to be in the dirt for ball 2. As Vargas is working the count back in his favor. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Here's the pitch from McGreevy. And Vargas is going to foul that one off his foot. Just gets a piece of it to stay alive. I wore this D-back shirt just trying to keep that energy from the 2023 season, but so far it's not looking so good. D-backs have played a solid game, but especially in the later half of this game, just not great at bats, honestly, especially runners on base. Without that Tawa shot, all we would have is a sacrifice fly, so. But 2 balls, 2 strikes to Vargas. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a shot in the gap. Right center. That's going to get down. Vargas is going to have at least a double. He's going to try for 3. Oh my gosh, this is going to be a close play. And he's going to get there. Sliding in easily, actually. Not even close. Not a great throw from the... I don't know if that was the outfielder to the cutoff or just all the way, but... And Vargas gets in there in the third base with the tying run in the bottom of the 7th inning. What a shot from Vargas. Hits it to no man's land. And I got kind of worried when he was rounding second. That throw was just not a great throw from the cutoff man, honestly. As a good throw may have got him, but wow. What a great hit from Vargas right there. And this is a big opportunity to tie this game. We got to do it right here. Come on, boys. That's actually going to bring McGreevy out of the ballgame, which is understandable. Soriano's going to come into relief. Sorry if I'm not even talking proper English. The more excited I get, the worse it gets, honestly. I got to get that down, though. Wow, 1 hour with the tying run on third base, and it's going to bring up Tim Tawa. Which, honestly, like, usually a name you wouldn't really care to see. You know, I mean, not that you don't want to see him, but you'd rather have a guy like Cattell or Corbin Carroll, but with the way Tim Tawa has been hitting, I'm all for it. I want to see what he does here. Oh my gosh, we gotta tie this game right here. We gotta tie this game. And McGreevy, he honestly pitched a very solid game, but it's understandable to take him out with the pitch count getting higher and the tying run on third base now. Doesn't make sense to keep him in the game. As I want to see the stats on Soriano, but he will be the guy coming in to relieve McGreevy. And here we go, you have George Soriano, the 3.32 ERA. Looks like he's been pretty solid this year. A great opportunity to get out of this jam. I wouldn't say great, still only 1 out, but definitely needs to come through for the Cardinals. And as I mentioned, here comes Tim Tawa with a chance to tie the game once again. Here's the first pitch. It's just going to be outside for ball one. We got to do it now. I know there's still 2 more innings after this, but we got to do it now. Got to capitalize. 1 ball, no strikes. Here's the pitch. That's just going to clip the top of the zone on the outside. Nice pitch from Soriano for strike 1. One ball, 1 strike. 1 out. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a ground ball. Foul down the line, though. It's going to be 1 ball, 2 strikes. This Tim Tawa needs the battle now. The good news is we still have Ketel Marte on deck, but with the way Tim Tawa is hitting, not a guy that you just want to underestimate right here. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Tawa. That's going to be high. And surprisingly, Crooks is going to challenge that, but that was nowhere near the strike zone. It's definitely going to be ball 2. Here's a challenge. And not even close. That's going to be ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. As the Cardinals lose a challenge, they only have 1 challenge remaining. As it is late in the game, but not a challenge you want to burn right there in that situation. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes to Tawa. Here's the pitch. And he's going to foul that one back to stay alive. Come on, Tawa. This could be huge right here. Once again, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Soriano sets. Here's the pitch. Another one. Fouled back. All right, 2 balls, 2 strikes once again. Soriano sets. Here's the pitch to Tawa. That's going to be another foul ball. As Tim Tawa is just battling up there. Oh man, I'm nervous. Even with one out and Marte on deck, like I mentioned, we could really get it right here. Here's the 8th pitch of the at-bat. As Tim Taw is battling 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a ground ball, but right to Mason Wynn. He's going to fire that the first to get the second out. As Mason Wynn has been all over the infield all game. And it's now going to be 2 outs with Ketel Marte up to bat. Got to get it right here. Cannot have another runner stranded on base. And Ketel steps in. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a ball upstairs. Ball 1. Ketel Marte 1 for 3. Had a nice hit in his last at bat. Let's see if he can do it again. 1 ball, no strikes. Here's the pitch. That's going to be outside. Ketel's going to challenge it, though. I think he might win it. It was close, but another close challenge potentially. Here's the challenge. And it's just going to miss once again. Very similar to the Perdomo challenge. It's now 2-0. Great challenge from Marte right there. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs. Tying run on third. Here's the pitch. And that's going to get in there on the outside for a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike. Two balls, 1 strike. Come on, Marte. And that's just going to clip the outside. That time it clips it, though. That's going to be the second strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Marte's got to protect now. Two balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. And that's going to miss inside. It's going to be a full count now. Great at bat so far from Marte. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Tying run on third. Here's the pitch to Marte. And he's going to swing and miss at that one. As Soriano comes in and deals. And once again, the Diamondbacks cannot get a run across and leave a runner on base. Just not a great showing so far today. It is still a 3-2 ball game in favor of the Cardinals as we head to the top of the 8th. That is so unfortunate, man. That is so unfortunate. There's so many opportunities to score runs, and the D-backs just not capitalizing. Yeah, okay. Two full innings left in this ball game as the Diamondbacks are running out of time. And it looked like Juan Maria was warming up in the bullpen. Hopefully he can come in and just throw up another 0 for the D-backs. Just to give the D-backs a chance, but it's not great at bats or runners in scoring position. Both teams pretty similar though when it comes to batting. 6 hits apiece in the lineup. 6 hits apiece in the game for both teams. I'm gonna get better, I promise. As Juan Maria comes in, he has a 2.89 ERA. He's been a little bit shaky recently in his starts, but hopefully he can get back to his form. Here's the first pitch to Burleson. That's gonna be a ball, misses low. He's 1 for 3 so far for single. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's going to be upstairs. Another ball. 2-0 the count. Two balls, no strikes. To the lefty, Alec Burleson. Here's the pitch. Thought it might clip the inside. Might have been worth a challenge, especially the 2 challenges, but no challenge there. It's going to be 3 straight balls. It's not a great first at bat for Murillo right here. For the next pitch, 100 miles per hour in there for a strike on the sinker. 3 balls, 1 strike. Here's a pitch. That's going to be a pop-up, but that's going to go foul to the left side. And it's now going to be a full count. Let's see if Murillo can bounce back. Murillo. Gonna get better. Full count. Here's the pitch to Burleson. Now it's going to miss upstairs. As so far, location-wise, Murillo just not having a great showing right here. And he's going to walk off, and he's going to walk the leadoff batter. As here comes Jordan Walker with a runner on first with no outs. Here's the first pitch to Walker. He's going to first pitch swing at that one. He's going to foul that one back. Strike 1. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Walker. Another one he fouls off. 1-0-1 on the gun from Murillo. As you already know, Juan Murillo, he can fire that thing in there, but just has to have good location. So far, much better at bat so far, though, for him, though. No balls, 2 strikes. And Walker's going to call time. No balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. That one's going to be in the dirt. Ball 1. One ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. And he's going to take a big hack at the slider outside and away and comes up empty. That's going to be strike 3. A great bounce back from the walk. And it's going to be 1 out in the inning. As that was a nasty slider. But here comes Lars Nootbaar, who's 0 for 3. 1 now with a runner on first. That's going to miss down low. Ball 1. Nootbaar, he struck out twice, and he got on with a fielder's choice, but hasn't swung the bat well this game. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's going to be right down the middle for strike 1 on the fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike. One ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. That's going to be outside for ball 2. As it looks like Luis Gastelum, probably butchered that too. He's going to be warming up in the bullpen for the Cardinals. But 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. And Nootbaar's going to foul that one off. It's going to be deuces. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Murillo sets. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a ground ball just past Marte. Cannot slide into that one. And that's going to be a base knock in the right field. As now runners on first and second with 1 out. With Nootbaar's first hit of the ball game. And that's going to bring up Mason Wynn, who's been all over this game. Hitting wise, he's made great plays at shortstop. And has another RB opportunity right here. Here's the first pitch to Mason Wynn. That's going to just clip the bottom of the zone for strike one. Great start for Murillo. As he's been just a tough batter to get out in this ball game. No balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. He's going to take a big hack at that. That's going to go all the way to the backstop, though, as Moreno can't find it. And that's going to advance their runners, as they now have runners on second and third. They do get the strike on that at bat, but now there's runners in scoring position at second and third. And with only 1 out, Moreno's really going to have to cook something up here to get out of this jam. But fortunately, no balls, 2 strikes. Great chance to get Wynn out right here. Here's the pitch to Wynn. And that's going to be a line drive right to Kepler, and he's right there for out number 2. Burleson's going to try coming home, and that's going to be the 4th run of the ball game. As that was a shot to left field. Kepler was right there, but kind of struggled to get the ball out of his glove, but I don't know if he would have had a chance anyway. Actually, I think he would have had a chance, but Burleson, not the fastest runner, but Kepler just could not get the ball out of his glove. I don't know if he was just so surprised with how, fast that ball came to him on the line drive, but it's going to be a 4-2 ball game now for Nathan Church. That's going to be a foul ball on the first pitch. As Mason Wynn comes through again with another RBI. As the Cardinals have an opportunity to do even more damage with a runner on second, no outs. Here's Nathan Church, 0 for 3. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's going to be upstairs for ball 1. With the way the D-backs have been scoring, just not what you want to see as the Cardinals take a 2-run lead. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's going to be a foul ball. One ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch to Church. That's going to be another foul ball as Church stays alive. Once again, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. That's going to be outside for ball 2. For some reason, the ump was just barking at Murillo for some reason. Not sure the reason, but it's going to be 2 balls, 2 strikes to Church. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a chopper right to Perdomo. He's going to get a quick throw. Ooh, not a great throw, but a great pick from Vargas to get the 3rd out of the inning. Could have been a scary play there to keep the inning going, but Murillo gets out of it, just giving up 1 run. As the Cardinals have a 4-2 lead now as we head into the bottom of the 8th. Even if it's just a run, that hurts, man. With the way the D-backs have been scoring, and just straining runners. Even a 2-run lead is not good. The good news is we do have the 2, 3, 4 hitters leading off this inning, so great part of the lineup that you want to be hitting, but it's getting late in the ball game. Here comes Luis Castellum. Sorry for butchering that. He does have a high ERA. Only's played in 3 games though, so we'll see what he can do against the heart of the lineup. As Perdomo takes a sweeper inside, almost hit him. Ball 1. Apparently he's a 24-year-old rookie, so here's the 1-0 pitch to Perdomo. That's going to be outside for ball 2. As unfortunately, we don't just need 1 run to tie the game. We need 2 runs, but great spot in the lineup to get something going. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That's going to be upstairs for ball 3. Great start for Perdomo. Three balls, no strikes. Let's see if Perdomo can get on base. Here's the pitch. That's going to be in there for strike 1. As Corbin Carroll waits on deck. 3 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. And that's going to miss outside, but once again, another questionable strike call. Perdomo's going to challenge, and he's going to win again. Man, this umpire's just been all over the place. Not even close. And that's going to be ball 4 for Perdomo. Another great challenge from him, and that's going to be a runner on first base with no outs. Great start to this inning. As so far, the D-backs have just done great on challenges. Still have 2 of them. And here comes Corbin Carroll. He's 0 for 3 so far, but in a great spot to get something going with a runner on first. That's going to be a first pitch strike, though, in the corner. Come on, Corbin. No balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. That's going to be upstairs away. Ball 2. I'm sorry. Ball 1. As it looks like Ryan Thompson and Paul Sewald are warming up in the bullpen. Thompson will most likely be coming in unless the D-backs can do something crazy here. And that's going to be a shot to right field. Please stay fair. And that's going to be gone. That's going to be a game-tying home run for Corbin Carroll to tie the game in the bottom of the 8th. Oh my goodness. It just stayed fair, just got over the wall, and it's going to be a 4-4 ball game in the bottom of the 8th. Corbin Carroll was 0 for 3, but get something going right there. And the D-backs climb back to tie the game. What a clutch at bat for Corbin Carroll, the all-star, just got back from Philadelphia, and he keeps it going. He wasn't even sure at first that was going to be a home run. Oh my goodness. Oh my, woo! What a shot for Corbin! And the D-backs are back in this ball game. And that's what you love to see out of your all-star. Gabriel Moreno's up to bat. He is down 0-1. Now it'll be 0-2 after the foul ball. I'm sorry, I gotta collect myself now. Oh my goodness. What a shot from Corbin. Oh, you love to see that. You love to see the kid keeping it going. No balls, 2 strikes, as Moreno's gonna call time. There's still no outs in this inning. Oh my goodness. I still can't get over that. What a shot. Here's a pitch to Moreno. That's gonna be in the dirt. 1 ball. Oh, I'm locked in now. The offense was kind of scaring me. After the Tawa shot, nothing really going. We're back. We are so back. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Moreno. He's going to chop that one right back to the pitcher, though. He's going to underhand that one to Burleson. And that's going to be the first out. Oh, man. They're showing the replay right now on that Carroll home run. Just stayed fair. You love to see that. And here comes Max Kepler up to bat with 1 out. He's 1 for 3 so far. That's a strike he takes in the first pitch. 0-1 the count. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a high pop-up. Hopefully it gets out. And that's going to be a foul ball for strike number 2. As that home run definitely woke Chase Field up. It was looking pretty dead for a while, but here we go. No balls, 2 strikes for Max Kepler. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a nasty changeup as Kepler can't get a piece of it. And that's going to be that's going to be strikeout for out number 2. Whew. And here comes Lourdes Gurriel Jr. with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th inning. That's going to be a changeup way inside. Barely misses him for ball 1. His gas limit has kind of been all over the place. 1 ball, no strikes to Gurriel, though. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a chopper foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. As it looks like this game, no matter which way it goes, could have a very cinematic finish to it. 1 ball, 1 strike to Gurriel. Here's the pitch. That one's going to eat him up on the inside. He's going to pop that one up. I think it's just going to stay fair, unfortunately, and that's going to be a catch by Burleson for the 3rd out of the inning. But Corbin Carroll with a 2-run shot after the nice Perdomo walk to get on base, and it's a tie ball game, 4-4 as we go to the top of the 9th inning. What a ball game. Corbin Carroll. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I can't stop smiling after that home run. That was insane. As this ball game just got much more intense. Head into the ninth inning, tied up 4-4. Both teams just going back and forth. I know it took the D-backs a little while to get going, but they're here. Of course, I have to go to the bathroom again. Goodness. As once again, the both teams having a very similar hitting game. Both teams have 7 hits apiece. As here comes Paul Sewald, as I mentioned, unless the D-backs did something crazy that inning, it was probably going to be Thompson, but now it looks like Paul Sewald will be coming into the game. Not sure how I feel about it, as I feel like in non-save opportunities, he's not his best. But I believe in Paul. Here's the first pitch to Jose Fermin, who's 1 for 3. That's going to miss outside for ball 1. Well, no, the count. Here's the pitch. That's going to be right down the middle for a strike. Dangerous pitch, but gets it by him. 1 ball, 1 strike. Sewald's set. Here's the 1-1 pitch. And Fermin's going to take a hack at that. He misses that, though. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Come on, Paul. If you're joining the stream, you joined at an incredible time, as Corbin Carroll just hit a 2-run shot to tie the game. Doesn't get better than that. 1 ball, 2 strikes, though. Here's a pitch to Fermin. And he's going to foul that one off. Count remains the same. Oh my gosh. I still can't get that out of my head. Sewald sets again. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a chopper right back to Sewald, but he misses it. And that's going to be a base hit for Fermin. Ah, what a great opportunity for Sewald to feel that and get a great first out, but it skates right past him. He was in there. He was in position. And it just knuckleballs him, hits the glove, and bounces off. Oh my gosh. I really hope that doesn't come back to haunt us, but he absolutely wishes he could get that one back. As after it hits his glove, it just completely slows down. And there was no shot at getting Fermin at first base. It's going to be a runner at first base, and here comes Jimmy Crooks, who had a nice single in his last at-bat. He's down 1-0 in the count. And we're hoping for a double play ball right here. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Crooks. That's going to be outside away, 2-0. Oh my goodness. Honestly, Carnitas 23, I'm hoping the Diamondbacks win, but it's been such a back and forth ball game. Here's a 2-0 pitch to Crooks. It looks like it just clipped the outside, but calls the ball and there's no challenge there. I would have challenged that if I was Moreno. Honestly, I couldn't tell you who's gonna win. It's been back and forth. But right now, it's not looking good for the D-backs. I'll tell you that right now. As the Cardinals get another man on base as Crooks walks, it's gonna be runners on first and second with no outs. As the pitching coach is gonna head out to the mound to calm down Sewald. Honestly, he hasn't had a bad inning. It's just that chopper up the middle that he couldn't corral cleanly to get the first runner on, and now it's just runners on first and second with no outs as the go-ahead runners on second base. As now Weatherhold, the top of the lineup's going to come up. I would say it looks pretty challenging right now, I'm going to be honest. With runners on first and second, no outs, and the top of the lineup coming up with Weatherhold, who's already hit a solo shot, and he ripped that thing. It's not looking good so far. Sewald's gonna have to calm down. As I mentioned, Paul Sewald, I do not like him in non-save opportunities, but let's see if he can calm down after the pitching, the pitching meeting, pitch meeting, whatever. 1 ball, sorry, I cannot even talk. Runners on first and second, and Sewald's gonna step off the mound. I'm not betting on Arizona, but I'm with you, Carnitas. I'm hoping we can both win this game. Here's the first pitch to Weatherhold, though. That's going to be in there for a strike. Great bounce back pitch from Sewald. As Weatherhold, he's been hot all game, looking to keep it going. 0-1 the count. Here's the pitch. That's going to be in there for ball one, though. 1-1 the count. One ball, one strike. The go-ahead run on second base. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be in there for a strike. A nice pitch right there. Just got it in there, the fastball. It's going to be 1 ball, 2 strikes, though. I'm with you, Carnitas. I am with you. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Weatherhold. This is a big pitch right here. And that's going to be a line drive up the middle, and Tawa's not going to get there. And they're going to stop Fermin at third base. But now the bases are loaded with still no outs. Oh, I thought Tim Tawa might have a play on that. But it just drops in center field for a base hit. And what a great hit from Weatherhold right there. As the bases are loaded with no outs. I think you got to pull Sewald. I mean, he just got unlucky with that first at-bat, but now... Oh boy. Oh my gosh, I can't even watch this. Oh my gosh. And here comes Ivan Herrera, who's 0 for 4. With a chance to be a hero and take the lead for the Cardinals. No outs. Here's the first pitch to him. And that's going to be inside for ball one. One ball, no strikes to count. Here's the pitch to Herrera. That's going to be a check swing. I think he went on it, though. That is going to be strike. 1 ball, 1 strikes. I can't even talk right now. Right now it's Ivan Herrera batting right now. That's going to be strike 2. Ivan Herrera, he's DHing right now. Usually I think he plays... No, he doesn't catch. I think he plays first base, but today's the designated hitter. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. Here's a big pitch from Sewald. And that's going to be a shot. A fly ball to left field. Kepler's going to get under it. He has a chance for a play at the plate. He's going to catch it. Here's the throw. And it's not going to get there in time. As Fermin is going to score the go-ahead run. It is now a 5-4 ball game for St. Louis. You hate to see it. Oh, boy. Oh, man. Honestly, I would have loved Paul Sewald to get pulled there. I mean, we need someone to get a strikeout, and Sewald is just not that kind of guy. And now Torey Lovella comes out. I think it's too late, though, as it's now a runner on first and second with 1 out. And a 5-4 ball game for the Cardinals. Oh my gosh. After the Corbin Carroll 2-run shot to tie the game, you cannot have that happen. And here comes Brandon Garcia in relief for Sewald. Oh man. I mean, if Garcia can keep it a 5-4 ball game, that's amazing, but with the way the D-backs have been scoring, not looking good. I honestly couldn't tell you how many more minutes there's left in the game. As I'm sure you know, it's baseball, so there's not really a time limit. But at this point, the D-backs have one more chance to score. So, um, after the Cardinals are done batting and the D-backs come up to bat, they have 3 outs essentially to tie the game or take the lead to win the game. So I'll just say there's not a lot of time left. It should end pretty soon. Oh my goodness. From the get-go, I did not like putting Seawald in the non-save opportunity. I get it. He's in there to keep the game tied, but that's just not his forte. You know what I mean? Like, I know for some closers they struggle with that in general, but Seawald, I feel like specifically, he's not good in non-save opportunity. And then with the bases loaded, I feel like he should have been pulled then. Don't even leave him in there to potentially give up the lead. And Brandon Garcia, he has been solid all year ever since joining this team. And yeah, he has a chance to keep it a 5-4 ball game, but now it forces us to score in the ninth, which we've been struggling to score all game other than the home runs we've had. Oh my goodness, man. That hurts. That hurts. And I love Paul Sewald, but I just did not like him in that opportunity. Hopefully, Brandon Garcia keeps this game close, gets out of this jam. Runners on first and second with 1 out. And as I mentioned, Garcia, he has been solid all season with a 1.90 ERA. He's definitely capable of getting out of this inning unscathed, but especially if Alec Burleson up, the third hitter, the hot lefty, it could get scary right here. And Jordan Walker's on deck. But here's the first pitch to Burleson from Garcia. And Burleson's going to swing at the first pitch and chop that one foul. Sorry about the count. I gotta update that. It is 0-1. No. 0-1, yes. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Burleson. He's going to check swing at that. I thought he went. He did go. That's going to be no balls, 2 strikes in the count. A great start for Garcia right here. No balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. That's going to be way outside for ball 1. One ball, 2 strikes. Big pitch from Garcia. That's going to be outside the sweeper for ball 2. Oh, my bad, Carnitas. You meant St. Louis is batting. Yes, St. Louis is batting right now. I thought you meant like a player. He checks at that swing, and he's going to go on the 2-2 pitch. A big strikeout from Garcia. And as I mentioned, Garcia should have came in, I don't know from the get-go, but way earlier. As Garcia gets a big strikeout as soon as he comes in, man. And that's going to bring up Jordan Walker with runners on first and second still with 2 outs. Come on, Garcia. Here's the first pitch. Walker's going to swing at the first one, foul that one back. I'm hurt, man. I really wanted this game to be tied going into the bottom of the ninth. It's going to be no balls, 1 strike to Jordan Walker. Here's the pitch. That's going to miss low for ball 1. This is a big at-bat right here for Garcia. Here's the 1-1 pitch. And that's going to be a ground ball right to Perdomo. He's going to fire to second base. And Garcia gets out of the jam unscathed. But other than the 1 run that comes across from Sewald, the D-backs need to score as the Cardinals are leading 5-4 as we go to the bottom of the ninth. And Riley O'Brien will be coming in for the save as he's been amazing so far for the Cardinals. I want to say he's like second in the National League in saves. I got to go to the bathroom. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, man. I am so hurt. My gosh, I just can't believe Carroll hits that clutch home run to tie the game. Ay, ay, ay. Alright, I gotta update this. So right now we are in the bottom of the 9th inning as the Diamondbacks are down to their last chance to tie this game. As it looks like, I'm not sure who's up to bat, but they're talking about Riley O'Brien, who's been amazing this season as a closer. It's going to be Nolan Arenado to lead off the bottom of the 9th for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Here's the first pitch. He's going to chop that one foul. Right now, it's the Diamondbacks batting. They're 3 outs away from losing this game. And such a winnable game, too. I'm so upset. Here is the 0-1 pitch to Arenado. That one's going to miss upstairs for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. O'Brien sets. Here's the pitch. That one's going to miss inside for ball 2. As O'Brien doesn't have the best velocity, but he's very crafty. He mixes up those pitches well. I think he gets weak contact. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. That's going to be outside for ball 3. A great start for Arenado. If he can get on base, get a pinch runner going for Arenado, this could get good. But Arenado's got to finish. 3 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. And that's going to miss inside for ball 4 as the Diamondbacks get a runner on first base to potentially tie the game. What a great at-bat from Nolan Arenado. And here comes Jorge Barroso, who's going to pinch run for Nolan Arenado, get some speed on the base paths. It's not over yet, Carnitas. Do not worry. And that's going to bring up Yadarmo. I cannot say his name right. I got to get that right for the next game. But here comes Vargas with a runner on first base, the tying run with no outs. And here's the first pitch. I would love a home run. He lays down a bunt, and that's going to be strike 1 as it goes right into the catcher's mitt. The good news is that Tim Taw was on deck, and he hit a home run earlier, so you never know. But it's going to be no balls, 1 strike. Oh my gosh. O'Brien throws over the first, and he picks off Jorge. Oh my gosh. Jorge Barroso gets picked off at first base. And that's going to be the 2nd out. What the? I look away for 1 second. Oh my gosh, Barroso. You cannot have that happen. I'm sorry, not the 2nd out, but the first. Either way, 1 out, and now there's no tying run on first base. You cannot have that happen, Jorge Barroso. What are you doing, my guy? As Vargas gonna fly this one out to left field, and quickly there's 2 outs now. Oh my gosh. That hurts. That hurts, man. As there is now 2 outs with no runners on base. I really hope Barroso gets a talking to, because that cannot happen. Nolan Arenado has a great at-bat to get on base. Barroso comes in a pinch run for him, and he gets picked off at first base. Are you kidding me? As Tim Tawa lays out the first pitch for ball 1, and he is the last hope for the Diamondbacks. Oh my gosh. I am like, the end of this ball game is just hurt so much for me. 1 ball, no strikes. Here's the pitch. That's going to be in there for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Oh my gosh. If we lose this game. 1-1 the count. Here's the pitch to Tawa. And that's going to be a shot to left field. And that's going to get down all the way to the wall. Tawa's rounding first. He's heading to second. And Tim Tebow gets into second base with a 2-out double. This guy is on fire. Oh my goodness. And Tim Tebow keeps the Diamondbacks alive. And now the tying run is on second base. And it hurts. I don't know if Barroso would have scored from first base off that. You know, they got that ball back into the infield pretty quickly, but it doesn't matter. And Ketel Marte with a chance to tie the game with Tim Tebow on second base. He chops that one foul for the first pitch. Oh my gosh, this game. If they tie this game, I might not make it. Tim Tebow, you are incredible. Whatever happens, you are incredible. No, it's going to be 0-1 the count for Marte. He's going to chop that one foul as well. Sorry, it is not ball one. 2 strikes, actually. As the Diamondbacks are down to their final strike. Ketel Marte just needs to... I almost dropped my phone. Ketel Marte just needs to swing at anything close. No balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch to Ketel Marte. And that one's going to miss inside. Great take right there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Diamondbacks have their... I want to say their most clutch hitter at the plate right now. They got to do something right here. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Tying run on second base. Here's the pitch. And that one's going to be grounded. Foul. Yes, if he were to hit a home run right now, the D-backs would win 5-6. 6-5. As it'd be a walk-off shot. But right now, they just got to tie it to keep it going. Once again, 1 ball, 2 strikes to Ketel Marte. Here's the pitch. Please. That one's going to miss upstairs for ball 2. As Ketel Marte is battling. And Geraldo Perdomo is on deck. If he hits a home run right now, I might pass out. I'm going to be honest. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch to Ketel Marte. That's going to miss upstairs. And strike 3? Ketel doesn't challenge it? Are you kidding me? That was ball 3 upstairs, and Ketel Marte does not challenge it. The Diamondbacks have 2 challenges. And it doesn't even matter if they have... That was clearly not strike 3. And Ketel Marte, the veteran, just lets that go by for ball... Oh, for strike 3. I can't even think. And with that, the ball game is over. The Cardinals take game 1 in the series 5-4. This bottom of the 9th inning was so hard to watch. Barroso gets picked off at first base. After a great at-bat from Nolan Arenado, Ketel Marte, for some reason, doesn't challenge the high strike called, which is nowhere near the strike zone. I don't know what has to happen in that clubhouse after this ball game, but there needs to be a talk. That cannot happen. Too many mistakes in that 9th inning. Oh my gosh, that was such a winnable game against the Cardinals, who are doing great in the wild card race. It just... I mean, we need to be winning these series no matter what, but against good teams like this... Oh my gosh. I don't know if you're still in here, Carnitas, but the Diamondbacks just lost. Oh my gosh, I am so mad. Oh my gosh. And with that being said, the game is over. I have no words. I mean, I feel like I said everything I want to say. I feel like I said... Oh my gosh, I feel like I said everything that I want to say. I cannot even talk. I have no words. I feel like I said everything that has to be said. Just too many miscues in the bottom of the 9th inning. I cannot believe Ketel Marte did not challenge that. I understand maybe a rookie or a young player, but Even if it was borderline or you knew it was a strike, it doesn't matter. You have two challenges. This is the end of the ball game. Just burn it. But no, even worse, it was a ball that wasn't even close to the strike zone. And what I hate even more is Ketel Marte is walking away from home plate, nodding his head as in like, "Nah, don't worry, guys. That was strike three. He got that." Like, what? Marte, you have been playing this game for way too long to know that to think that that's a strike for some reason. That was such a winnable game, man. That was such a winnable game. That one hurts. Nolan Arenado gives us a chance of a great walk to get on base. Jorge Barroso blows it, and like I said, I'm not sure Barroso would have scored from first base after that double from Tim Tawa. It would have been close, but at least we have one more out to work with. Oh my gosh, bro. I can't. I can't. I can't. And with that being said, that's going to be the end of this live stream. I have. I don't even know what to say. I feel like I said everything that has to be said. And what I will say, though, is that we will be back tomorrow. I think it's a 1:10. Kind of a different start for a Saturday game. It's an afternoon game tomorrow. Um, Pretty similar to the Sundays, but we better win tomorrow. That's all I'll say. We better win tomorrow. That is unacceptable. I cannot believe. I still can't believe Ketel Marte did that. But with that being said, I will see you guys tomorrow for another live stream. For game 2 of this series. Hopefully we can come back and tie the series, but and I know we can because we could have easily won tonight. It's not like we got blown out and it's not looking good for tomorrow, but we gotta fix up the errors, man. Like that is I cannot believe we made so many mistakes, especially in the bottom of the ninth when it mattered most. With that being said, I appreciate each and every one of you guys for tuning into the stream. My first Diamondback stream. I'm definitely want to make this an every game thing if I can. As long as the games are on MLB TV and not, Peacock or Apple TV, I will be here streaming as much as I can. Thank you guys, everyone. Thank you to everyone for tuned into the stream and who tunes into the recap that I post afterwards. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for watching. Have a safe night. Take care. And I'll see you next time. Bye.